Alrighty, so this is week 6 in CIT82, and I had talked about this last week, as I have most things, like covering it the week before or the week ahead. So this is the same. The HTML essential training, the code along is still the same. The new thing you have is the GitHub Pages, and this is a current topics on UTF-8. Really good video here. I think really just understanding this concept is really important in any kind of web development, is what UTF-8 is. So anyway, going back here, I'm really going to spend just a few minutes here. I think we should be able to get to it pretty fast on this one, which is the GitHub Pages. And I'm going to do it on the fly, having not done it before in this account. Okay. So now that I have my GitHub account and I've showed that you need to create one, then I'm going to come over here. I'm going to create a new repo, a new repository. And I'm going to name it the same as my username. Okay? I'm going to make it public. I'm going to go ahead and don't have to do git ignore. We can do that later. I will initialize a readme. That's always a good idea. Okay? Do the repo. And then that's the first part, right? So now what you can do is you can create a new file. And you can call this file name the file index.html, okay? And then you'll code up some HTML, okay? So HTML, oh, I forget this does not have emit, right? So this is good. So I'm actually going to, rather than do this, is actually reach over to my editor, because the truth is I'd rather code in there anyway, and then I'll just cut and paste. Right, so that's always good to see, and I'm just going to drag in my editor window, so don't get freaked out about it. It just looks a little different. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do I'm going to do a new project. Do I need to do a new project? No, let's just do a new HTML file, and we'll call this index. Now it's going in that folder. It doesn't really matter, because by now you've gotten the experience of creating files. And so now I'm just going to take that code right there, right? And this is just the basic code you need to create up a file. And I'll just say hello world. And then I'll say h1. Boy, and this is where I really see how much I depend on my editor to make my life better, as you will. But until then, this just gives us the basics. Okay, so there we go. We'll commit the file. So commit the file means adding it, right? So creating index. And you'll see more about this as we get more into your GitHub local repos. But for now, we're all doing it, just pushing it out, or in this case, publishing it to a remote repository. Okay. Don't worry if you don't know those words, you're going to learn them later. So we're going to commit directly to the master branch. Oh, by the way, I should have had a message there, but I didn't. So cool. So now that you've done that, you can, I think, unless there's another step, let's see, there might have been, Rio FCC student.github.io. Okay, there must have been one more step. So what I'll do is I'll pause real quick and just figure out Rio FCC GitHub. I'll just pause and figure out what that was. Hold on. Okay, so it was good. What I did is I forgot, I think, just based on the little bit of research I did, is that fccstudent.github.io is actually what I needed to create. So I just created another repository. I'll delete the other one in a minute just because I don't need it. And again, I'll do the same thing. I'm not going to do a git ignore file. I will do an initialize a readme file. It will be public. Okay, all those things are important. And then there it creates it, right? And then I'll do that same thing where I create a new file. And this will be good because it'll show you a little more of the commit message that I should have done. Okay, index.html. Again, we get to paste that in for the second time. Hello. And then like h1. See, I really like my editor. I should actually do that. Let me just show you that, because if I'm in my editor here, like h1 is so much easier, right? Than by doing it, because it just makes my life easier by using it. Okay, so we'll do that. All right, so I'll say and create index, creating GitHub Pages directly to the master. That sounds great. Okay, so now I should be able to go to that site. And let's see now if it worked. Oh, look at that. Awesome. Okay, so then when you're done, you post the link into your discussion board for that item. So that was good. That was honestly me. Hadn't done it in GitHub Pages in a little while, and it was good for me to relearn how that works because it's good. It changes. Stuff changes all the time. So you put a link to your GitHub Pages, talk about your experience of doing this, and do the normal replies. All right, hope you enjoy it. I will like to say, and by the way, this should have all been in your notes a little bit here, right? So is that Valley Dev Fest? I believe I've mentioned it, but now is the time if you're interested in going. I have tickets to give away. I do want to just make sure students are indeed wanting to go. So if you get a ticket from me, it's just a ticket, it's not the t-shirt. So one campaign that's going right now is buy the t-shirt and it is your ticket to ride. So your t-shirt is your ticket. And so this gets you in the event and it gives you the event t-shirt. Okay. So when you order, and I know it's 23, right? So if you don't want the event t-shirt, no problem. But if you do want it, you can order the t-shirt. If you just want to get a ticket, then get a ticket. Student accounts or student or $5. But again, I have codes, but I just want to make sure you want to go because part of planning events like this, which I help do, I am on the team for this. So doing this work requires you to plan for people to be there, and I just want to make sure people will be there. So talk to me about it. Email me. It's fine. I just want to make sure you really are going to be able to take the time and be there. I think that's it for this week. Have a great one. I'll talk to you next week.